All right, go ahead.
Hi, my name is MJ Huizenga. I graduated from Trinity in 2024 with majors in graphic design and theater. And then I returned to Trinity in the spring of 2025 as a adjunct professor of theater to direct the spring main stage production, Black Sun, Blood Moon. I have a lot of memories of Trinity, and if I had to choose a favorite, it would be from the spring of my junior year. I was directing an original play, and it was the Sunday before Tech Week. I was leading a field trip to see a play downtown with a friend of mine, and while downtown, I get a text saying that there's a picnic table that would work for the set for the play that I was directing, but it was like an hour away in Joliet. And we didn't have time to come back to campus to switch to a different van. And there was a small enough group on the theater field trip that the students could all pile into one van, and then my friend and I could take one van to go get the picnic table. And we were trying to figure out if we had enough space and ended up taking the seats out. But we were doing this in the middle of Chicago and trying to figure out how to puzzle these seats together in order to make room for this big table. And at one point we got the seats stuck like against the ceiling of the van, and then people were taking pictures of us, and eventually we realized we didn't know if it was going to work, but we were just going to go to the picnic table and see if we could fit it in. And so then we drive an hour out to get this picnic table, and then we are trying to put it in, and we spend a half hour trying to like maneuver the seats, and we finally figure out how to take the seats out, and we get one set of the seats out, and then we go to the second set, and we pull the tab that we were supposed to pull, and it snaps off, and we have no way to get the seats out. And we're like 2 hours from campus. We'd already driven an hour out of our way to get this picnic table. And so we asked the people who were buying this picnic table from if we could borrow any tools. And they give us this very nasty look, and they tell us, you can, but as soon as you touch it, like there are no refunds. And then they just walked inside and left us. And so then we try to take apart this big table, but then we determined that they don't have the right because it needs like a star bit. And we finally managed to like maneuver it in the van in a way, and we like close the doors, and it makes like a weird popping sound, but we got the doors to close. And then we realized that we closed the tools in the door, so we have to like open the door back out. We get the tools, and then we like shove it close again, and we realize that the like plastics like lining of the door like popped in when we closed the doors, but it was the only way we could make it work, and we were like in a rush. It was about to be Tech Week, and so we called it good, and we just hightailed it out of there, and then we're driving back, and then if we went over like 60, then the van started to shake, and so then we had to like stay at a certain speed, and then we get back, and then we unload it, and then we go straight into Tech Week, and then the next day, using the same van to go pick up paint from Menards, and then as I'm pulling into campus, I take a turn too sharply, and I had the paint can on a seat instead of on the floor, and so then it fell over and it spilled teal paint all over the bed of the van, and then we had to spend like an hour trying to like scrub all this teal paint out. And I cite that as my favorite memory because it was tantamount to the story of Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, where it was just a series of everything going wrong. But I felt so fulfilled in that moment because I was doing what I loved with people that I loved. And so it didn't matter how frustrating our circumstances were, is because we were committed to doing it together, and it was for a project that we believed in. In terms of what Trinity means for me, I feel a very strong connection to this school. My parents met here back in the 80s. They came here, my dad from a farm in Wisconsin, my mom from a farm in Illinois, and they swore to get off the farm, and so they came here and were accounting majors. So that they could, go work in the business world and not have to live on the farms that they grew up on. And they met at a square dance. And then after doing what they said they'd do and becoming CPAs downtown, they moved right back to the farm they swore they'd never return to, which is the farm that I grew up on. And my siblings also both went here, also both for accounting. My sister only for a semester though. It was mostly just because her boyfriend got cold feet about proposing, and so once he did, then she dropped out. But my brother actually went the full 4 years and also became a CPA. And so then when it came time for me to come to college, I didn't really consider any other schools just because of how ingrained into my family Trinity was. And I even started as an accounting major and then quickly realized that while that was something I could probably do, it wasn't something that I was really passionate about, and uh, decided to major in graphic design. And then along the way, I was taking courses quickly enough that I was either going to graduate early or add a theater major, and I was enjoying working on theater so much that I just decided to add a theater major. And little did I know that that would lead to me getting my master's in theater and then uh, coming back here to be an adjunct professor, all within a few years' time. So it's funny how life works. Um, but I'm really grateful for all of the time that I've got to spend here and all the memories that I've made. Thank you.